Hello, welcome to Bachmann Europe, and thanks for joining us today as we unveil our final British Railway announcements for 2021. This year we've had many highlights already. The Class 20s unveiled in the spring for 00 scale were followed by an all-new model of the disc head code Class 24s this summer. In the autumn we looked at the brand new Bachmann Branchline Class 47s. These groundbreaking models incorporate features such as the DCC operated motorised fans, a feature not seen in other British outline models to date. Coupled with the high levels of detail and the exquisite livery application, these models set a new benchmark for 00 diesels. Notwithstanding these highlights, we've got plenty of news for you today, and I'm fairly sure you'll be surprised by what we have to share with you. So let's get on and see what we have in store, starting with a recap of our autumnal activities. There was delight amongst narrow gauge modellers when we unveiled the first engineering prototypes for the 009 scale Quarry Hunslet locomotives in the autumn Bachmann Times, and these tiny models continue to stun everyone who sees them, with each model incorporating numerous detail differences, some obvious, others not so, to accurately depict the chosen prototype. The impressive specification includes a die-cast boiler and running plate, a cordless motor with flywheel, and we've even squeezed in a 6-pin DCC decoder socket. We were delighted to get back out and about at the International N-Gauge Show in September, our first public event for more than 18 months, and it was a pleasure to meet so many N-scale enthusiasts over the course of the weekend. Along with a new look stand centred around the Bachmann Collectors Club, countless new models were on display, many of which have not been seen before and are now at the livery sample stage or more advanced. During the autumn months, a selection of colourful private owner open wagons have arrived, whilst new versions of the LMS Inspection Saloon, 45-tonne TTA tank wagon and LMS 20-tonne brake van will be appearing in stores imminently. The BR Blue and RTC liveried Class 24s with disc head codes from Bachmann Branchline have now arrived, both of which are available in standard format or with sound fitted. The much awaited new Class 20s in BR Green and BR Blue liveries are also set to arrive within the next few weeks, along with the first examples of the all-new Class 47s. For the steam enthusiast, 3 new LMS 4P compounds are now available, with 2 in BR Line black livery and a third in the attractive LMS Crimson Lake colour scheme. The all-new LNER V2 is another highly anticipated model which should be arriving in shops in time for Christmas. The BR Mark IIF coaches have been released in BR Intercity Swallow, Virgin Trains and ScotRail Saltire liveries, including DCC on board examples with integral DCC decoders and lighting. The decoder provides total control of the numerous light features, including central door locking lights, which are fitted to these DCC onboard models. A selection of 45-tonne TTA tank wagons have also been released, along with several 24-tonne ore hoppers. In the winter Bachmann Times, Peter Fiduch takes a detailed look at the history and operation of these intriguing workaday vehicles. Remember, the Bachmann Times is produced exclusively for members of the Bachmann Collectors Club, so join now to ensure you don't miss a copy. Another benefit for members of the Bachmann Collectors Club is our new Practically Perfect sale, and the inaugural event took place in September at the Great Central Railway. We welcomed hundreds of members who indulged in our selection of refurbished and reconditioned models at great prices, whilst enjoying discounted rides on the GCR and other attractions. Available on the day were the new DRS Mark IIF coaches, which have been produced exclusively for club members, and these models are available to order via the club website now. During September, we had the chance to visit GBRF's Doncaster depot and see Class 66 number 66731 Captain Tom Moore. We took the opportunity to present a cheque to NHS Charities Together for £60,000 at the same time, which we are raising from the sale of the Pride of Britain train packs. It was important for us to support NHS Charities Together without further delay. However, we still have limited supplies of the Pride of Britain train pack in both N and 00 scale, so head over to the Bachmann Collectors Club website to order yours whilst they're still available, and you too will be helping to support our superb NHS. Moving on to our new announcements for winter 2021, and we start with Scenecraft, which sees a new addition to the growing number of O-scale models. Like all Scenecraft products, our O-scale models are finely detailed and hand-painted. First released some years ago, the sectional line-side hut makes a welcome return, and this model should prove useful for any line-side setting. In N scale, the iconic parachute water tank makes a welcome addition to the range, but for those not modelling the Western region, the Great Central Water Tower provides a suitable alternative to cater for your locomotive watering needs. Moving into the yard, and the shunter's mess room is an essential structure to give crew a space for rest and recuperation. And for those modelling the era of diesels, the fuelling point pump house will be a useful addition and a perfect partner to the Scenecraft fuelling point. The pack of 4 line-side cabinets will find a home on any layout, whilst the small kiosk is suitable for use in stations, depot areas and car parks, to name just a few. Moving away from the line side, the concrete bus shelter will provide cover for waiting passengers, whether they are awaiting a rail replacement service or something more routine, whilst the pack of 2 modern toilets offers facilities fit for any modern town or city. The Nissen hut is sure to invoke memories of years gone by, and should find a home on models set any time from the war years up to the present day. We're all missing those long summer days now that winter is around the corner, so why not take yourself back to the summer holidays with the new 00 scale holiday coach, which comes in 2 colour schemes, green and white or red and white. For those modelling a coastal setting, the seaside cafe is a must. Whilst no beach would be safe for holidaymakers without a lifeguard hut, if you wish to bring Welsh vibes to your modelling, then a slate workers cottage is the answer, and this popular model returns this winter. Although part of our narrow gauge range, this model is eminently suitable for any 00 scale setting too. 00 and 009 models are made to the same scale after all. The narrow gauge slate built engine shed, on the other hand, is destined for use on 009 layouts, 009 trains being much smaller than their standard gauge 00 counterparts, and this structure will also be returned to our customers' shelves this winter. New additions to the range of low relief buildings from Scenecraft include Higgs & Sons Town Garage, a 3-storey city house, Evans the Butchers, Juicy Pear the greengrocers on the corner, the Railway Hotel, the Corner Cafe, and a low relief cinema. More low relief offerings come in the form of the Railway Tavern Corner Pub, Public Convenience, and the impressive Bonded Warehouse. Once you've created your street scene, consider the sleeved street lampposts to add the finishing touches. Sold in packs of 4, these lamps make a welcome return this winter. Moving to the line side, and the 4-lever open ground frame is essential for controlling train movements around sidings and yards, whilst the coach washing plant appears again, ensuring that all coaching stock remains clean and presentable, ready for service. Finally, adding to the Wigmore collection of buildings is a halt, which is suitable for use on both island and single-sided platforms. New for the EFE Rail range this winter are models of the BR SPA and SEA open wagons in 00 scale, with the SPA available in BR Rail Freight Red, Network Rail Yellow, BR Rail Freight Metal Sector, and there's a pike wagon in BR Engineers Grey and Yellow. Several SPAs also appear with a weathered finish in EWS livery, Network Rail Yellow, DB Schenker X EWS, and in BR Engineers Grey and Yellow with pike wording. Some SPA wagons were fitted with removable hoods, and these were given the TOPS code SEA. Models of these SEA wagons are also being produced, starting with an example carrying BR Rail Freight Red livery combined with an original hood. This is followed by a second example in similar livery but with Cardiff Rod Mill branding added to the wagon. Both have a pristine finish. 2 weathered examples are fitted with the revised hood, which was adorned with the Rail Freight Metal Sector logo, and again the wagon itself is decorated in standard BR Rail Freight Red livery, or with the additional Cardiff Rod Mill branding. Finally, a 5th version, which is produced with a pristine finish, depicts a BR Rail Freight Metal Sector liveried wagon carrying a revised hood. Following a slight delay, the 1938 motorised tube train, which was unveiled to launch the EFE Rail range, will also be arriving this winter. Joining the Bachmann Branchline 00 scale range is the popular Ivet 2MT tank locomotive in the much requested LMS black livery. Carrying number 1205, this is the first time that the Ivet tank has been available in LMS livery since the authentically detailed body shell was combined with an all-new chassis, incorporating an X18 DCC decoder interface and space for a speaker for those wishing to add sound to their model. Also arriving this winter is number 41227 in its British Railways Lime Black livery, another scheme which has not previously been available on this latest generation of the IVET 2MT tank. The Bachmann Branchline Class 90 electric locomotive was released to great acclaim in 2019, and we're delighted to unveil 4 new identities for this popular model which will be arriving this winter. With its groundbreaking specification, including the servo motor operated pantograph, Branchline Class 90 is the pinnacle of British outline 00 scale electric traction and remains unrivalled amongst the British electric locos available on the market today. In Intercity Main Line livery is number 90026, which features sprung retractable buffers, rubbing plates, Buckeye couplings, centrally fitted TDM cables, smooth-sided battery boxes, small battery box charger, and triple horns behind the original slatted horn grille. Another passenger machine is number 90004, City of Glasgow, in Virgin Trains livery, and this model also sports sprung retractable buffers, rubbing plates, Buckeye couplings, smooth-sided battery boxes, and triple horns behind the original grilles, but with a large battery charger, and the TDM cables on this loco are fitted to the buffer sides. 2 freight machines complete the quartet, with number 90048 in Freightliner Grey livery, complete with authentic weathered finish, featuring sprung freight buffers, screw couplings, buffer side mounted TDM cables, twin horns behind the original slatted horn grille, large battery charger, and hinged battery box covers with ribbed fronts. Our second freight loco is number 90041 in pristine Freightliner Green, which again displays sprung freight buffers, screw couplings, buffer side mounted TDM cables, twin horns behind the original grilles, and large battery charger, but with hinged battery boxes which feature ribbed sides. All 4 models are available with sound fitted. These are pre-fitted with an ESU Locksound V5 DCC sound decoder, which is suitable for operation on both DCC and analog control. On analog, you will enjoy ringing sounds when power is applied, whilst on DCC the full suite of sound effects can be enjoyed, and the servo operated pantograph can be raised or lowered as a DCC function. Standard format models feature an easy access 21-pin DCC decoder socket and have a pre-fitted speaker too. It's important to note that due to a change of the servo motor used to operate the pantograph, these new Class 90s should be fitted with our latest Class 90 DCC decoder, item number 36569A. This decoder is pre-configured to operate the motor, lights and servo motor, and also features the brake button function. But if you wish to add sound, then you will need to source a suitable sound decoder from your chosen supplier. Or why not cut out the hassle and choose a sound fitted model instead? For those not using DCC, the pantograph is sprung and can be set in the raised or lowered position. 2 new Class 152 car DMUs are set to hit the shops, with a Class 151 depicting set number 150133 in BR Regional Railways Greater Manchester Passenger Transport Executive livery. The Class 151s and 152s can be differentiated by the presence of corridor connectors at the cab ends, on the 152s only. And for the first time, the Branchline tooling now features the windows within those connectors as seen on members of the class when first built. This tooling is used to model Class 152 number 150247, which carries BR Provincial Sprinter livery. Both models are available in standard or sound-fitted format. 3 new rolling stock releases complete the Branchline offering this winter, with the BR 12-ton shock van in BR Bauxite Lake livery, complete with the distinctive white stripes denoting that this wagon is fitted with shock-absorbing apparatus. The new, highly detailed VEA vans will be arriving this winter too, and a further version will be joining the previously announced trio. This new example carries BR Rail Freight red and grey livery. Finally, the popular Midland 20-ton brake van makes a welcome return as number 277 in Hermes grey livery with duckets. That brings us on to Graham Farish, which is one of the jewels in the crown of Bachmann Europe. And we're all very proud here to be custodians of the name in British N scale. However, it's fair to say that Graham Farish hasn't featured as prominently as some other ranges in our British Railway announcements so far. But that said, we do have a steady stream of new releases from Graham Farish appearing throughout the year, with more than 1 new product every week released to our retailers so far on average. However, today we're delighted to share with you news of one of the many developments for Graham Farish that we have in progress, which will be arriving in stores this winter. And that is the first British outline diesel shunter locomotive in N scale to be offered with a DCC decoder socket. And we're delighted to share these models with you now. The popular Graham Farish Class 03 diesel shunter is the first to receive this treatment, and 3 models will be available, as number D2028 in BR green with wasp stripes, number 03026 in BR blue, and former number D2054 in the attractive white livery of British Industrial Sand. If that wasn't enough, we have also given the Class 04 diesel shunter a DCC treatment, and 3 models will be available this winter, in BR black with early emblem as number 11219, BR green with lake crest carrying number D2225, and number D2289 in BR blue. Due to the restricted space within these small locomotives, a very small 6-pin DCC decoder is required, and the new Bachmann 6-pin micro DCC decoder offers the perfect solution. And like most Bachmann decoders, this new micro decoder includes the brake button function too. New additions to the multiple unit fleet come in the form of Class 151, number 150133, in BR Regional Railways Greater Manchester Passenger Transport Executive livery. This 2-car unit is also available with sound fitted. And for those modelling the BR Green era, we are delighted to announce a sound-fitted version of the popular Class 101 2-car DMU in BR Green with speed whiskers, which joins the standard model previously announced and arriving this winter. Finally, for now, we have a new BR Mark II TSO coach in the popular RTC colours, this model carrying the revised RTC livery and so making it the perfect partner to the Graham Farish Class 31 in the same scheme. Okay, so now I'm joined by Steve Purvis, one of our design engineers. Thanks for joining me, Steve.
That's all right.
And half expecting Dave Parsons actually for another new 00 scale diesel, but we're changing the theme a little bit as we see out 2021, aren't we, Steve?
Yes, fairly sure this will be quite exciting for everybody. It's another bogie vehicle, so there is some similarities with your 00 diesels, but that's where the similarities end.
Yeah, quite a lot of differences that will become very
Quite
apparent
a lot of difference.
As we get into it.
Yep.
So let's take a look at where this all began.
The iconic double Fairley design was patented by Robert F. Fairley in 1864. The design uses a single boiler carried above a pair of independently controlled pivoting power bogies. The benefits of this design allowed a large locomotive to be built that operated equally effectively in forward and reverse. It could navigate sharp curves or undulating track, unlike rigid wheelbase locomotives, and could utilise all of its weight for traction, not wasting any on carrying wheels or tenders. The first official Fairley to be built was completed by George England and Company of London. Named Little Wonder, the locomotive was essentially a pair of 040 Festiniog England chassis pivoting under a combined boiler. The success of this locomotive in trials on the Festiniog Railway catapulted the idea of steam-powered narrow gauge railways worldwide and began a long-running association of the Fairley locomotive and the Festiniog Railway that can still be seen today. The first double Fairley to be built at the railway's own workshops at Boston Lodge was to be named Merddin Emrys, after the legendary Welsh wizard. The order was placed for the frames in 1877 and an erecting shop was built especially for the construction of the locomotive. It emerged in 1879 and really contained many of the features on the double Fairley we all associate the railway with today.
So the double Fairleys, some simply stunning models in front of us here, and models that the whole team at Bachmann have really enjoyed working on, Steve.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a labour of love for us all for the last quite a few years actually that we've been working on them. Many visits to see the real thing, sound recordings and everything else, and well, this is the product. I mean, you've got to admit it's fantastic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we started the Bachmann narrow gauge range with the Baldwin 1012D. And an icon of British narrow gauge is the double Fairleys, and it's just an honour to be able to bring those to you. Something we've all been raring to announce for a long time now, but obviously we have a way of working here, and these models are now in the right time frame to share with you all.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the models in front of us in a little bit more detail.
It is no surprise that the iconic double fairley was the next locomotive to be selected by Bachmann Narrow Gauge, and 3 versions of this new 009 scale model will be available initially, along with a Bachmann Collectors Club exclusive edition. We will look at our models in chronological order, the first being Merthin Emrys in its 1879 as-built condition. The most obvious thing about this locomotive is that it proudly wears the early Festiniog lined green livery finished with real brass handrails, a striking comparison to the later maroon liveries more synonymous with the double fairley. When this locomotive was first built, it had an open cab with 2 semi-enclosed spectacle plates either side, each of these having a pair of large D-shaped windows to look out of. These windows were made large enough for crews to climb out of should they be stranded in a narrow tunnel. Another feature of this early period is the stovepipe chimneys and small smokebox handrails, and the Festiniog had yet to fit the instantly recognisable round sand pots at each end, at this time just favouring rather austere looking square sand pots on the uphill end of the locomotive only. Keen eyes will notice the lack of vacuum brake pipes and associated equipment fitted to this locomotive, as at this time the engines were braked by steam or handbrake only. The open cab fitted to this loco allows us to see the exquisite cab interior details with separately fitted regulators, reverser, and for the first time a separate clear pair of gauge frames. Of course, these details are fitted to all of the Fairley models. Moving the clock forward by a few decades brings us to our model of Livingston Thompson in the traditional lined maroon livery of the Festiniog Railway. This locomotive is 7 years younger than Merthin and had quite a few changes incorporated into its design by the time it was built in 1886. The most noticeable of these is the longer side tanks. These extend almost to the smokebox and incorporate a different splasher layout to those on the earlier number 10. Also noticeable on this version is the now standard vacuum braking system and cylindrical cast sandboxes. One of the more subtle changes between the 2 locomotives is the different style of belly tank under the cab, this one being slightly shorter and having a different profile on the outer ends. The full cab this locomotive wears also carries the slightly smaller D-shaped windows when compared to the as-built number 10, and the now standard chimney is fitted. The condition this locomotive is modelled in is also how it is currently represented in the National Railway Museum in York. Skipping forward several years again brings us to the revival era, more importantly the latter part of the 1960s. The railway was making do with what it could use at the time, and Livingston Thompson soldiered on in now what is fondly known as Garraway Green. The locomotive was renamed as Taliesin in old company days, but had been renamed again Earl of Merioneth in 1961. The locomotive was withdrawn in 1971 and eventually cosmetically restored to post-1905 condition to be put on display in the National Railway Museum. The white wall tyres, black boiler and domes date this model to the period after its last overhaul up to its withdrawal in 1971.
Some great details there, Steve, and 3 models that I'm sure are going to be high on the list of many modelers' wish lists, and they don't need to wait long for them.
No, they'll be here in a matter of a couple of weeks. In fact, they're well on the way now. They're all made. As you can see, they're packed up, and you'll be able to order them for your local stockist imminently.
Yeah, and actually be on the shelves within the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
These are that close,
Yeah.
so can't wait to see them on people's layouts, in display cabinets and such like. And as we always try to do now, we've got sound-fitted versions
Yes.
of these models. So every model available in two formats. Your standard format, which has got Next 18 DCC decoder.
So of course it's not all about appearances with these. They are, they pack a punch, just like the real thing. They've got cordless motor in it, the same powerful cordless motor that you're used to with the Baldwin. They've got all-wheel drive, all-wheel pickup. They'll go around first radius curves,
Great.
which allows you to run them pretty much anywhere, really. And they've got a pre-fitted speaker, so all you've got to do is remove the bottom 4 screws if you buy a non-sound fitted one. If you want to fit a chip, you remove the 4 screws on the bottom, the panel comes out and you drop the decoder right.
So that's your Next 18 decoder.
Yeah.
Pop your decoder in there and you can run on DCC, but like Steve said, if you're going to be tempted by the sound option, then our sound fitted versions are really the way to go. We've got a bespoke sound project in there. With some lovely features. I've heard it myself. It's really quite special.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, the real jewel in the crown is the something that typifies these locos. When they start off, often both engines won't be in sync, so you can actually drive. Those that may not know that you can actually drive each engine differently. There's a regulator for each engine. But once they start working hard together, sort of a micro slip on the wheels, so they end up in synchronisation. Both engines are working together, so our sound file replicates that.
Oh, great.
So at low speeds, both ends will be chuffing at a different rate, and then as you increase the power and the speed, they start synchronising together.
Amazing. And there's lots of different whistle options.
Yeah. So we've got whistles on there to cover pretty much all of the locos through all of the periods of time. They're also speed related, so when you're doing a lower speed you'll get a different whistle reaction as what you would if you were doing a higher speed or stationary. So the same button does 3 different whistles.
That's great. And again, like all our sound fitted models, they can be used on analog control as well.
Yeah, they work perfectly on DC analog.
And you get some of the sound effects, you get the ringing sounds.
Yeah, and you'll get some of the random sounds generated as well while it's running.
So the sound fitted options are really great options for everyone. Or the standard format as well. All 3 of the models here, well all 4, will be available in both formats in the shops in the next couple of weeks. And as you can see, there's actually 4 models in front of us, and you can tell us about the 4th, Steve.
For our club exclusive model, we have a representation of FR number 12, David Lloyd George. This locomotive, completed in 1992, was the first traditional looking Fairley to be built at Boston Lodge since number 3, Livingston Thompson, was outshopped over 100 years before. The locomotive contained many of the familiar features from previous locomotives. Originally oil-fired, the locomotive was converted to burn coal at its second overhaul and returned to service in 2014. It is this condition that it can be seen in use today. Our model carries its current livery and is distinctive in its slightly brighter shade of red than the earlier locomotives. So this is exclusive to the club?
Yes, Bachmann Collectors Club exclusive model. Again, going to be in stock in a matter of days. It might even have arrived as our video has been filmed and you've now seen it. So head over to the club website to place your order for that one. Again, sound fitted models are available in addition to the standard format. And this represents the locomotive in its current condition.
In current condition as it's running today, yeah.
So you can even go and see the real thing on the Festiniog Railway. Worth a trip out for anyone to the North Wales there. As this is the first 009 scale exclusive edition model to be offered by the Bachmann Collectors Club, we are delighted to unveil a new membership option to coincide with the launch of David Lloyd George. Our new 009 scale membership gives you the same great benefits as our other membership options, including 4 copies of the Bachmann Times magazine and British Railway Announcements catalogue, plus our annual combined volume catalogue, a specially commissioned calendar, access to club-only events like the Members' Day, the Practically Perfect Sale and our Members' Lounges, plus a 2-year warranty on your Bachmann models. Our new 009 scale offering includes a 009 scale wagon, and you can choose from a selection of highly detailed Bachmann narrow gauge models. Head to the club's website to find out more and start your journey with us today. So as I'm sure you'll agree, some simply stunning models there, which all the team here at Bachmann are really proud of. I just want to say thanks to Steve for joining me today and sharing some of the details with us.
No, it's been my pleasure, and it's been good to finally get them out in the open actually, after sort of having them on my desk and various other desks around the business for the last couple of years. But I would like to say a special thanks to everybody at the Festinio Railway who's helped us massively with this project. Everybody from the engineering side all the way through to the paint shops and the historians. Without them this project would not be possible.
Yeah, it's been a real labour of love for a lot of people.
Many people have worked on this.
I'm sure the railway will delight when they see the models out there being enjoyed by our consumers too. So thanks again to Steve. As with all of our announcements, you can order these products from your local Bachmann stockist. Head over to bachmann.co.uk to find your nearest stockist. Things like the double fairlies and several of our other new products are going to be in the shops in a matter of days, so don't delay in placing your orders for those. With David Lloyd George, our Bachmann Collectors Club exclusive model, you can go ahead and order that from the Bachmann Collectors Club website. That's bachmann-collectorsclub.co.uk, where you can also join the club if you're not already a member and find out about all the many benefits that you'll receive, including our British Railway announcements catalogue, which comes with the quarterly Bachmann Times, and they're in the post now to all of our valued club members. Well, that draws a close to our new announcements for 2021. Thank you very much for joining us throughout the year. Remember, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll be the first to know about all of our new and exciting products that will be unveiled during 2022 and beyond. So from me and Steve, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next time.